Good morning, Klara Adalena with the Love for Life Academy, and excited to be here with you again, back from Holland. I just want to do a little sound check because I set the system up new here again. Are you hearing me okay?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Great, thank you. Then I will begin with lighting my candle from the darkness of an autumn morning here in Holland. Welcome to the light. I am again deeply inspired by my mastermind in Hawaii of the last 4 days. So I want to share some of that inspiration with you. And what came to me as kind of bringing all of that together is from lack to love. From lack to love. Because we all tend to think so much in terms of lack. And part of that is, of course, why you're here. You're lacking the man that you would want in your life, the children you would want in your life, the family you would want in your life. But the danger is, or how do I say that? It's often also a symptom. It is saying something of that we think in lack, and we can change that. I guess we all know the title of that famous book, Think and Grow Rich. So in a way, this is think and find love. Because I think we all acknowledge by now the power of mindset, the power of how we think. And as long as we keep thinking in terms of lack, we won't find our man. If you look at the pool of available men, there's all sorts of men in there. There's amazing men in there. There's terrible frogs in there. There's everything in between. There's the man who really make you feel hot, but will never commit because they were never in it for that from the first place. But they do make you feel amazing, like no man ever did before. You know, there's all these men in that same pool. And the truth is, there's billions of men, 7 billion people on the planet, more than 3 billion men. There's all sorts of that. We can hardly imagine what 3 billion means. But we only meet a certain type of man. And maybe we are surrounded by women who also meet that kind of man. Except the ones who already have a man, and then we think, yeah, you're different. Which is disqualifying them, in a way. They did find an amazing man. There are amazing men out there. But you are not meeting them. Now, what is that? What is that? What is it that you're not meeting? Not having a moment of real connection with one of those amazing men. That even when you think this one is going to be different, he turns out to be just the same. What is that? Well, there's of course many reasons to explain that, but most of all, it's mindset. How we think determines the kind of people we will meet. How we think determines the kind of man we will meet. If we think in terms of lack, there just is no good man out there, I'm not having what I want, that is what we will meet. We will meet men who are determined by lack. And those are not the ones you want to be with. Those are the ones who don't see they can have both their freedom and their connection. They are the ones who think in lack. So they think if I connect to a woman, I lose my freedom, and they get terrified. But they're a mirror of your own thinking in terms of lack. If there is beliefs out there, there is no man who would really fit me. There is no man who would understand how I operate, how I can be awesome rock star at work and be very feminine and hot at home. There is no man who can meet both sides in me. You know, as long as we unconsciously maybe hold those beliefs, that is what we will meet. There is like this invisible ceiling in love land, just like there is in career land. Some women just never get beyond that ceiling. We are in it here to lift our ceilings. We are in it here at the Love for Academy to go from lack to love, to lift that invisible ceiling and to become that woman who starts meeting the amazing guys. And it begins with how you think. How do you think? How do you see yourself? How do you determine yourself? What are the beliefs you hold about yourself, about love, about man? Dare you even imagine a man who would fit you? Dare you imagine a man who, just like you, can go from being totally in the moment and meditative and spiritual to being very active and sportsy and competitive, to having this flash of insight about how life works and how you can use that at work, to going back to just enjoying and being. You know, can you even imagine a man who would really meet you in that space? So that is one of the things that we do here, right in Module 1, when we do our goddess work. We start seeing ourselves differently. We start thinking differently. Because there is one thing about this whole mindset and invisible ceiling issue that is often forgotten. And there is one thing that people are totally blind to. And that for us successful women is actually absolutely important. And I want to address that too. Because the mindset work, we all know, we've all read The Secret, but it works for some of us or for some topics, and it doesn't work for others for us. For me, for a long time, it did work okay in manifesting my home and my work. It did not work okay in manifesting love. What is that? It's same principles, right? Why can I do it in one field and not in another field? And the truth is, that has everything to do with self-image. We cannot change, how do I say that? We can change our mindset as much as we want to, but if it's not aligned with our self-image, it doesn't really root, and it's not effective. It's just on a superficial layer, and it won't be powerful at all. So mindset work always needs to go hand in hand with self-image work. Now this is known by many. It's not taught by all, but it's known by many. But what is not taught at all, and what we really are doing here, is that the self-image for women is so tightly tied in to our body experience. How we experience our body is so tightly knitted in to our self-image. And I'm not saying how we see our body, how we experience our body. And this is something few of us ever even tap into. We do experience our body minute to minute, but we don't make it aware, and we don't tap into it as a resource to shift our self-image so that our mindset work can really grow and we can really shift from lack to love and find that amazing partner and have him with us and toast with him on Christmas Eve. So the body experience work you do here every day is about reclaiming your goddess. And that's about changing your self-image, right? I'm not just a mere mortal woman. I'm this amazing goddess. And I shift that through working on my body experience and through really experiencing the goddess that I am. There's all these layers of what our culture has taught us to think about our body, about ourselves. And of course, we can work on all of that, but this is so much more direct. If we directly sense our body experience and tap into that layer where the goddess energy is just flowing through us, it's more powerful than all the other conditioning that we have met in our lives. And then we tie it all together. Our self-image shifts. We start seeing ourselves as this goddess of love, this Aphrodite, this Diana. And from that place, we start really calling in different men into our lives. And from that same pool of 3 billion men, that at first we drew only the bottom part, now we start drawing in the top part. And that's a difference of world, day and night. And then, of course, with all the work on the pleasure and opening the heart that we do, we learn how we can communicate with those men to draw out even the best in them. So not only we're having the top guys, but we're starting to draw out the best in those guys as we're also bringing out the best in ourselves. And then through all our work on communication in the higher modules 4, 5, and 6, we start really being able to bond with this guy and to create a relationship in which we both evolve. So not only then do you find the top guys, not only draw you out even the best in them, but you even have them evolve together with you and become even better human beings over time. Better human beings, more loving, more passionate, more free to be themselves and to really connect, more of service, more in integrity, more of all of that. So this was again, in a nutshell, in 40 minutes, the whole vision behind what we're doing here. And why this goddess work is not only making us feel good, but is actually drawing in different men in a more powerful way than any other way that I know of.